We just got some insane news on a player wanting out of a team, and the Bills should be pressuring to get this player as hard as they can. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bills Digest. I'm your host, Anthony Senicar, and let's be honest, it is off-season time, and there's going to be a ton of draft coverage, ton of trade rumors, ton of free agency signings, and we got you guys all covered right here at Bills Digest. I mean, just look at this. 72% of you guys who are watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. So you guys are not getting the coverage you guys need. Subscribe, join the army here at Bills Digest. We're on the road to 100 subscribers, and every little bit helps. Well, guys, we got some absolutely massive news out of Cleveland that could push the Bills over the edge if they acquire that player. That player being Myles Garrett, who has officially announced that he wants a trade out of Cleveland, and he has officially made it public. There were rumors earlier this season that he might want out and that he said he was committed to Cleveland, but he looks like he looked at Cleveland's situation. He wants out, and he wants to go to a winning team. And right as that trade request got announced, take a look at who became the odds favorite to land Myles Garrett. The Buffalo Bills are tied with the Philadelphia Eagles as the odds favorite to land Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is a player that pushes you over the edge, who moves the needle. He is what Brandon Beane calls a game wrecker on defense. The Bills thought they had that in Von Miller. He looked very good before he tore his ACL. And again, you can't predict injuries, but he is not the same player of himself. And I think Greg Rousseau would excel very good in a defense with Myles Garrett on the other side. And I think it also helps Von Miller a lot. I mean, Myles Garrett's stats just speak for himself. He is a reigning defensive player of the year. The guy's averaging about 12 sacks a season, even more. He is 29 years old, but pass rushers tend to age gracefully. I mean, we were getting production out of Jerry Hughes at a high level at the age of 34. So again, Myles Garrett still has a lot left in the tank. If you make this move work, you're going to have to probably cut Von Miller. If you can somehow fit Rousseau, Von, and Myles Garrett in the same defensive end rotation, that is insane. But I mean, just looking at Myles Garrett's contract, he has 2 years left on his deal at about $20 million a pop. So again, around the same money as Von Miller. So you cut Von Miller, you bring Myles Garrett in, and he takes up that money. Then you can always extend Myles Garrett, give him a 5-year contract, move the money down the line, and go from there. So money-wise, the Bills could make it work. If you're Brandon Beane, you make the phone call and you see if you can get Myles Garrett. He might just be the piece to push the Bills over the edge. I mean, they've tried for years trying to get that defensive end and pass rusher piece. They tried Rousseau. Rousseau is a good player, not a great player. You tried with Ed Oliver. He's a good player, not a great player. You need that stud on the edge. You go to get Von Miller. That works out. Then he tears his ACL, and he's not the same player. You have a lot of money built up in this D-line. You have money in Ed Oliver. You have money in Von Miller. You're going to have to pay Greg Rousseau. You still have money invested in AJ Epenesa. So you're going to have to move one of these pieces, that probably being Von Miller, if you want to bring in Myles Garrett. But everybody is saying the Bills have to make this move. I mean, just media pundits themselves. Robert Griffin III tweeted out the Buffalo Bills should do everything they can to trade for Myles Garrett, who just requested a trade from the Browns. And obviously, it will not be a free agency signing, as Myles Garrett is still under contract. So you might be looking at a trade like something like this. The Bills giving up 2 firsts and a second-round pick. The Bills are obviously picking 30th in this year's draft, and you're not going to get a superstar level player of Myles Garrett who will make the impact that Myles Garrett makes in that first season with a 30th pick. It's just usually not happening. A lot of these pass rushers develop into superstars, and I think if you can, you do what the Rams did and say F them picks and go get yourself a stud pass rusher in Myles Garrett. Just picture that Myles Garrett opposite side of Rousseau. You got Ed Oliver, who are these offensive lines going to block? You're going to have to double team someone, and that leaves Greg Rousseau, Ed Oliver, and Myles Garrett. Two of those guys will be one-on-one with either guards or tackles. So I think this is the Bills' splash play. If they want to make a splash play, that is to go get Myles Garrett. The guy is a proven pass rusher. He is a certified superstar in this league. He's what Von Miller was supposed to be when the Bills signed him. He's 29 years old, so a little bit on the older side. But you still go get that pass rusher if you believe that he is the piece that will put you over the edge. You are going up against an AFC which has star quarterbacks every week. You got the likes of Lamar Jackson. You got the likes of Patrick Mahomes. You got the likes of Joe Burrow. You got the likes of Justin Herbert. You got Bo Nix. You got Drake May, who are still up-and-comers. You have a ton of quarterbacks, and the only way to stop these quarterbacks is to get them on the ground. And if you're going to pay a superstar quarterback, you have to pay a superstar defensive end. You have to create pressure with four-man fronts for this Sean McDermott defense to work. That frees up the linebackers and the safeties to drop back in coverage. If you can get a four-man front pressure, Bobby Babbitt blitzed a lot this season. That's because the pass rush did not get home when it was needed. Von Miller, Greg Rousseau are good players in their own aspects, but they did go MIA in big moments. We had no pass rush from Von, no pass rush from Rousseau in that AFC Championship against the Kansas City Chiefs. But you bring in a Myles Garrett type, again, like I said, it is a headache for offenses to deal with when you got the likes of Ed Oliver, Greg Rousseau, and Myles Garrett coming after the quarterback. Gives Bobby Babbitt the flexibility to drop more guys in coverage against these passing teams, the likes of Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. And again, even against the run, if they send a blitzer, they're going to have a physical defensive front to stop the run, to slow down the run. And a pass rush has proven time and time again to slow down Lamar Jackson when he is throwing the ball. So if I'm Brandon Beane, you got to make the phone call. You got to see what it's worth. 2 first-round picks might be a bit steep, but again, to get a superstar, you have to give up assets. And I think the Bills really need to have an internal conversation if those 2 first-round picks would be worth it for the likes of Myles Garrett. And you're probably going to lose Von Miller on top of that. But again, maybe the Bills don't make the trade and they run it back with Von Miller and Greg Rousseau. Maybe they hope Rousseau takes another step. Von Miller gets back to 100%, and maybe it works. But if you're Brandon Beane, I think you make the move. You go all in. Josh's contract's going to keep ballooning. If you sign him to an extension, again, you can still move money down the line and bring in some more cap space. But again, let me know your thoughts below, guys. Do you think the Bills should go heavy after Myles Garrett? Should they sit back and just wait, sign some more depth guys with the cap space, and hope Rousseau and Von Miller are going to be good enough for next year? Let me know your thoughts below, guys. We are on the road to 200 subscribers here at Bills Digest, and every little bit helps. It is the offseason, so we got you guys covered from wall to wall. So please like, subscribe, guys, and as always, go Bills.